Good morning to all the students of class ninth. Students, here we'll begin with another lesson, lesson 8, Reach for the Top. Before starting the lesson, I would like to give you certain instructions for your COVID-19 appropriate behavior. Students, like you already are aware that Unlock 5 has already started. Slowly and gradually, we are becoming accustomed to the atmosphere, to the environment during this COVID 19. But we should not forget certain things that wearing mask is mandatory wherever you go outside of your house. It's important to wear mask. Yes, following physical distancing, social distancing, that is 6 feet. It's equally important, and maintaining your hand hygiene, especially hand hygiene. Personal hygiene is important, and hand hygiene too. Wash your hands frequently, always with soap and water, and for at least 20 seconds. Remember, do not touch your face, do not share food or drinks with others. I hope that you are going to follow these instructions very carefully and you will adapt this appropriate behavior in you till we are COVID 19 free. Now, let's begin with our lesson. Students, this is a beautiful lesson in your book Reach for the Top, which has been divided into two parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is based on the life of Santosh Yadav. I think that most of you would be hearing this name for the very first time. She is the only woman in the world who has scaled Mount Everest twice at a very young age. So this record is with her still today. And second part is on the life of Maria Sharapova. She is an amazing tennis player. She became world number 1 at a very tender age. She got success at a age where everybody would start thinking about what to become in life, and she had already achieved this feat, this pinnacle. So in this tutorial we'll be doing the first part, that is Santosh Yadav. Students, just read this before you read section. Make a list of 3 to 5% that you admire a lot, that you idolize, that you want to be like them, or you want to learn certain things from them. Those people can be from any sphere of life, be it from sports, medicine, media, art, culture, anyone. You choose and make a list of those people whom you admire. You can have a look at the picture here of Santosh Yadav. Santosh Yadav, the only woman in the world who has scaled Mount Everest twice. She was born in a society where the birth of a son was regarded as a blessing and birth of a girl was not at all welcomed. So you can imagine that from which society she belonged and how she became a great mountaineer and an environmentalist. When her mother was expecting Santosh, a holy man arrived at their home, arrived at their place, and he asked he asked the grandmother of Santosh Yadav that what is she expecting. He was shocked, he was surprised to hear that the grandmother wanted a girl child to be born in their family. Why it was shocking for him? It was shocking and surprising for him because at that time, no girl child was welcomed, only boys would be preferred over girls. So it was very shocking for him. He heard the grandmother's choice and he gave the requested blessing as a girl child. As destiny would have it, and the blessing seemed to work, Santosh Yadav was born in her family as the sixth child because before her there were already five sons. She had five elder brothers and she was a younger sister of the five brothers. She was born in the small village of Joniawas of Rewari district in Haryana. A very small village called Joniawas. She was named Santosh. Santosh means contentment. Santosh means a feeling of happy satisfaction. But like her name, the meaning of her name is contented, but she was not contented at all because she couldn't fit in the traditional way of life that she had in her village. She began living her life on her own terms. She did not wear the dresses like other girls would wear in their village. She would be wearing shorts. She preferred shorts. While other girls would be wearing traditional Indian clothes, she would be wearing shorts. She had said few lines, and one such line is, "From the very beginning, I was quite determined that if I chose a correct and a rational path, the others around me had to change, not me." So from the very beginning, she was very determined. She knew where to go. She knew that whatever decisions she will make or she is going to make will be right for her. She was a person with wisdom. She was a wise person. She could make out what decisions would be right for her. So she knew that if she chose a correct path, she chose a rational path, a sensible path, then she will not going to change at all. Who will going to change? The people around her will have to change according to her, but not herself. Santosh's parents were affluent landowners. Affluent means wealthy landowners who could easily afford to send their children to study to the country's capital, that is New Delhi. But like in their village, they did not have this culture of sending their children out. They used to study in the school which was situated in their village only. There was a prevailing custom in the village that when girls attained the age of 16, they were married. And Santosh Yadav opposed this prevailing custom. She did not want to marry. She had already declared to her parents that she would marry only if she is given the permission to study. She becomes independent. She was under pressure from her parents, from her neighbors, from her relatives, from her village, but she was not ready to let go down herself. She decided to fight the system in her own quiet way. And when she turned 16, she had her own pressure, but she She was not ready to marry at all. She threatened her parents that she would never marry if she did not get a proper education. She left home and got enrolled herself in a school in Delhi. And when her parents refused to pay for her education, she politely informed that she is going to do a part-time job to pay her fees if they are not going to pay for her. And then her parents had to agree because they did not want their daughter to work part-time despite having all the amenities, because they could easily pay her fees. Now her father had already understood Santosh Yadav's urge to study a bit more. She had a deep interest in studying, and her father had already knew about this. So Santosh Yadav passed the high school examination from Delhi and went to Jaipur for her further studies. She joined Maharani College and got a room in Kasturba Hostel. Now, when she stayed at Kasturba Hostel, just opposite the hostel, she could see the Aravali Hills. She would sit in the free time near the window of her hostel, of her room, and would be watching the villagers from her room going up the hills, and then suddenly vanishing after a while. She would kept on thinking that where they vanish. One day she decided to go and check herself that where they actually vanish. And when she went there, she found no one except few mountaineers. She asked those mountaineers if she could join them, and to her surprise, the answer was an affirmative. It was very positive, and they motivated her to join the climbing. They, in fact, told her she is most welcome in their group. And then it was that day, then there was no looking back. She took to climbing. She had made up her mind that she will going to make her career in climbing only. She was a very determined girl. Whatever she thought, she would do every possible thing to complete, to achieve it. And then she started saving money and enrolled herself in a course at Uttarkashi's Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. And she had not told about this to her parents, that she would be taking a course at this institute. Her college semester in Jaipur, it had to end in April, but due to some reason it ended on the 19th of May. And her course at Uttarkashi's Nehru Institute of Mountaineering was starting on 21st. She had only 1 day gap in between. So what she did is, she did not go back to her home. She headed straight away for the training without informing her parents. She wrote a letter of apology to her father, without whose permission she had enrolled herself at Uttarkashi. She knew that if she is going to share this with her parents, they will not allow her to enroll for such course. So she did everything on herself. She enrolled herself at Uttarkashi. She wrote a letter of apology to her father, and then she joined the training. There in training, when she joined it, the institute, she got an opportunity to go on the expeditions every year. What is expedition? Expedition is a journey taken by a group of people with a particular purpose. So she had got ample number of opportunities to go um, to different places with different groups, and slowly and gradually, her climbing skills matured rapidly. She became really good at it. And in fact, she developed a remarkable resistance to cold and altitude. Equipped with an iron will, physical endurance, and an amazing mental toughness, she proved herself repeatedly. So, students, when she started going on to the expeditions every year, she became resistant to cold and the altitude. She became aware to cold, she became aware of the height, and plus, it not only made her physically tough, it also made her mentally tough. And like you already know that she was an iron willed from the very beginning, and now after climbing through the expedition, she had become physically tough and mentally tough both. Now, the culmination of her hard work and sincerity came in 1992, just 4 years after she had shyly asked the Aravali mountaineers if she could join them. She was not even 20 years of age. Santosh Yadav scaled Mount Everest, becoming the youngest woman in the world to achieve this feat. So, students, you can make out that she was not even 20, she was barely 20 that she achieved this feat, reaching to the Mount Everest, becoming the youngest woman in the world. Her climbing skills, her physical fitness, her mental strength impressed her seniors. Everybody wanted to invite Santosh Yadav in their group. Her concern for others, her desire to work together found a special place in the hearts of her seniors, in the hearts of her fellow climbers. So, these are certain characteristics of Santosh Yadav, that how iron willed she was, how physically and mentally tough she was. She was not even not just mentally and physically tough. Equally, she was very good at heart, very concerned towards her fellow climbers, have a doing group work together. During the 1992 Everest mission, Santosh Yadav provided special care to a climber who lay dying at the South Pole. So, when she had her Everest mission in the year 1992, she was in such kind of situation where her fellow climber was in difficulty. She did every possible thing to save him. She tried to help him in every possible way, but unfortunately unsuccessful in saving him. But she managed to save another climber named Mohan Singh, who would have met with the same fate had she not shared her oxygen with him. So, while going on the expedition, Everest mission in the year 1992, she got in a difficult situation of saving two people. In one, she was not able to, she became unsuccessful, unfortunately. But if we talk about the another climber, that is Mohan Singh, she managed to save his life by sharing oxygen with him. This shows that Santosh Yadav was a very kind person, And she did not think of just about herself, but she also thought about her fellow climbers. She helped others. She did every possible thing to help others. This shows that she had a very helping nature and she was very, very kind at heart. Within 12 months, Santosh Yadav found herself a member of the Indo-Nepalese women's expedition that invited her to join them. So, just in 1992, when she achieved and reached the Mount Everest, just within 12 months, she got an invitation from the Indo-Nepalese women's expedition to join them, and she scaled the Mount Everest the second time, keeping a record, setting a record to her name as the only woman to have scaled the Everest twice, and securing for herself and India a unique place in the annals of mountaineering. Annals is the record of events year by year. And in recognition of her achievements, she was bestowed by the Indian government the top honors, the nation's top honors, that is Padma Shri. She describes her feelings in the last paragraph that when she finally achieved at the top of the Mount Everest, it took some time for the enormity of the moment to sink in. The enormity of the moment to sink in means a very great moment to be understood. So when she reached at the top of the Mount Everest, it took some time for her to actually believe that yes, she had achieved, she had reached the top of the Mount Everest. It was a great moment for her, and it took some time for her to understand. And then she took out the Indian tricolor flag from her bag that she carried. She unfurled the flag, held it aloft on the roof of the world. The feeling is indescribable. When she unfurled the flag at the top of the Mount Everest, the feeling was indescribable. The Indian flag was flying on top of the world. It was truly a spiritual moment for her. Spiritual moment means concerning deep thought, feelings, and beliefs. She felt proud as an Indian because it was a very proud moment for her. Also, a fervent environmentalist, Santosh collected and brought down 500 kilograms of garbage from the Himalayas. So this is another achievement that she has, is she became an fervent environmentalist. Fervent means having or displaying a passionate intensity, and she collected and brought down 500 kgs of garbage from the Himalayas. Like when we go to a place, we take snacks with us, we take food items with us, and what most people do is they throw the foil paper there, thus polluting the environment. This should not be done at all. Whenever you are going somewhere to a place for a picnic, just make sure that you bundle up all the materials that you carry with yourself and then bring it back. On the way, you can throw it in the dustbin, because our government has taken initiative to place the dustbins all around the city, so it should be our duty just being responsible enough to throw garbage inside the bins only, not just littering around here and there. We are the responsible citizens of our country, and it's our duty to respect our country, respect our mother nature, to love our nature. So, students, it's a request to you all that whenever you are going somewhere for a picnic or for a outing, for trekking, for camping, make sure that you don't pollute the environment and the atmosphere around you. Like here, Santosh Yadav had collected 500 kgs from the Himalayas. Can you imagine? From the Himalayas, she had collected and brought it down. So it's a huge respect to her from all of us. We bow down to her for her courage, for her toughness, and for taking the environment, the nature, her utmost priority. And I think we have also learned a lot from this lesson that if you are determined enough to know where you want to go and what you want to do in life, then nobody can stop you. If you are right in your path, if you know that whatever the things you are choosing, whatever decisions you are making, those are sensible enough to take you to a path, to take you to a right path, then nobody can stop you to achieve. If you have thought something to become something in your life, then definitely it will going to happen. But before that, you have to be iron-willed, mentally tough, and know that where exactly you're going and where you want to go. Set up your standards, set up your aim, and then chase it, be passionate about it. Just like Santosh Yadav.